UK Special Forces could be deployed against criminal gangs responsible for trafficking thousands of migrants across the English Channel, under plans being drawn up by the Defence Chiefs. According to news sources, as you can see here, more than 50,000 people have crossed the English Channel in small boats since Starmer became Prime Minister. The milestone has been reached by Sir Keir Starmer faster than his predecessors. So let's just have a quick look at this. More than 50,000 migrants have crossed the English Channel. Home Office statistics revealed that 474 people arrived on Monday in 8 vessels, the highest number to make the journey. So over the last 7 days, looking at the statistics, it's actually around just over 500, nearly close to 550 people in the last 7 days, over 7 boats. So that's the latest of the last 7 days. Year ending March 2025, 38,000 apparently crossed in small boats. We're now doing obviously August to August, and they're saying from July last year to now, approximately 50,000 migrants have crossed the English Channel. So there is obviously an issue there. We are struggling, but I do know that we are returning them. Well, we're not returning all the ones on the boats, but we are returning those who have overstayed their welcome, been convicted and sentenced and served their time in prison, and then have been returned because they're no longer allowed to stay in the UK. Anyone who has been rejected asylum, I think we're at to around 30 to 35,000 have been returned since Keir Starmer became Prime Minister. Flights are up, I know that for a fact, but we've got more coming in than we are returning. If you're claiming asylum, if you come into the UK legally, then yeah, of course. But Keir Starmer is trying to tackle this issue where they are coming from France, Calais, doing a dangerous crossing across the English Channel into the UK. So could the SBS, the Special Boat Service, part of UK Special Forces, be the unit that we need? I have said in previous videos about making a British Army, Royal Navy, joint border force regiment that could possibly tackle this issue. They could deploy on the English beaches, deploy over on the French, and be in the waters and try and catch the people smugglers before they get into the boats, or as they are in the boats, come to the UK and be returned if they have no right to be in the UK. As we saw in previous videos, you've got all the migrants over in Calais in these like little villages in the wood blocks. The French are just completely leaving them to it. They're then making their way across the English Channel in the boats. Instead of making up a border force unit within the armed forces, because they could use the armed forces resources, the experience, the skill set, but they would understand the border force and the Immigration and Asylum Act law, which they would need to make the arrests. British soldiers just can't do that standard. They can patrol the beaches, they can patrol the waters, but they can't make those arrests. What about if you brought in the Special Forces? Because as we know, or you don't know, Special Forces do go around the world. They work very closely with American and other units around the world, and they do go and track down and arrest high profile drug smugglers. Okay, they do go into those networks and arrest them. So could they do that with the people smugglers? Numbers wise, would they struggle? The numbers are never released of the UK Special Forces. Could they work closely with the French? Yes. Have they got the skill set? Definitely. These guys are the best at reconnaissance. These guys are the best at gathering intelligence without even being seen, and the best at going in, arresting, taking down targets and bringing them back safely, taking as minimal casualties as possible. They could be deployed underwater. It's their job role. They're the maritime specialists out of the UK Special Forces. So I think if this is generally being drawn up, this is what I've heard, it's being drawn up by Defence Chiefs. The Special Boat Service have been tasked with preparing contingency options that would see them working alongside European partners, which makes sense, to target people smuggling networks. One proposal is believed to involve operations against the ringleaders who organise and profit from the crossings. That's exactly who you've got to go after. It's all good arresting the ones in the boats and returning them, but there's always people above them who are going to take the money and just keep bringing more and more people across. So you've got to go for the top. You take out the top, yeah, there's more than likely someone to replace them, but you've got more chance of taking them down, more chance of stopping the crossings if you take the people from the top who are basically controlling the movement of these boats, taking in the money. It's definitely a great idea. Like I said, they have got the skill set, they've got the kit and equipment, and the special forces have got the funding as well. Have they got the personnel to do this? Yeah, most probably, especially if they work closely with the European partners, say the French. I think it's a great idea. I think it's something that we really need to look at. I would love to know what your thoughts are on this below. Should we deploy our UK Special Forces to the English Channel? Are they there already? Or should we make an Armed Forces Border Force unit that works alongside Border Force, understands the Immigration and Asylum Act, knows how to do reconnaissance, surveillance, have the kit and equipment, the weapon systems if needed, to tackle these people smugglers? More than 50,000 people now made that crossing since July last year. And it's only seemed to be coming more and more and more. It's increasing year on year. Yes, like I said, we are returning the ones that have overstayed their welcome, been convicted of a criminal offence and no longer allowed to stay in the UK, or are not allowed to claim asylum. Their appeals, their applications have been rejected. Hundreds and thousands of flights going out monthly, but we've got more coming in than we've got returning, and you know, people are calling for it to come to an end. Deploy the SBS, the UK Special Forces. Like I said, I'd love to know your thoughts on this, so please do comment below. Thank you for watching. Head over to combatreadyhq.co.uk, check out our merch and our coffee. Combat Fuel for the best supplements on the market. Use code CH15 for 15% off. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.